Hello everyone, absolutely clean window washing coming to you here with a residential ice dam steaming job near Stillwater, Minnesota. We're going to start down here at the truck, and we're going to talk a little bit about the machine that we use for ice dam steaming. So here we have a Whitco. It's a very big machine in the back of our truck. On our machine we always run a pressure and a temperature gauge at all times. The gauge in the back there is a pressure gauge. We're running about 180 psi today. Our temperature gauge here is in the front. We're running at 250 degrees. So that's what you want to see on a machine. The reason we run gauges is because we're very, very much against pressure washers. A lot of people that claim they have an ice dam steamer are in fact running a pressure washer. And unless they can prove to you with gauges that they're running at the correct PSI and the correct temperature, you should not let them on your roof for any ice dam removal services at all. So a pressure washer is going to run at a very minimum of around 1,000 PSI. Most pressure washers cannot be turned down under 2,000 PSI. So when you start talking pressure on a roof, that's what can cut through your shingles. So you want to run a very low pressure and a very high temperature. At 250 degrees, the water has been atomized and turned into steam. And once the water has been atomized, it can no longer cut through materials like water can. So everyone, I'm sure, is familiar with how a pressure washer can cut through materials. Very, very dangerous. You do not want a pressure washer on your roof. So again, here's our phone number. If you'd like to give us a call, 612-919-4185. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about how to spot the difference between a pressure washer and a steamer. The main difference that you will see, that you can look for, very easy question to ask a company before you let them out on your job, is to ask them about the gun that they use. So the gun that they use, it looks a lot like a pressure washer gun, but it's not. It'll never have a trigger. This is a steaming wand. There is no trigger right here to squeeze to let the water come in and out of the gun. The water continually flows in here and out the gun with no restrictions from a trigger. And the tip that you're looking for on the end of this gun is a metal pipe. A steam tip should always look very similar to this. 99% of everyone running a steamer will run a tip like this. The other acceptable tip that you may see is a fan tip like this. This tip is permanently mounted on the end of the gun with threads, and basically it just sprays a little different pattern of steam. So this is an acceptable tip to see on a roof, and this is the most preferred tip right here. So a steam gun should never have a trigger, and it should always have a tip like this. If you see a plastic colored tip on the end of a gun, it is a pressure washer, and you should not let them on your roof no matter what. And if you see a trigger on the gun, that's also a good indication it's a pressure washer. And tell them to go home. If they show up with a piece of equipment like that, it's a pressure washer, and you don't want that on your roof. I cannot express that enough. I had a guy confess to me that he pressure washed 40 or 50 roofs in one winter, and he cut holes in every single roof that he did, and he couldn't figure out how to remove the ice dams without damaging the roof. So very important. This particular job here has a very old, outdated electrical system. We had to run off a generator here. I'm going to take you up on the roof now, and I'm going to show you how safe and how gentle steam is, and a little bit about the steaming process here. So bear with me one moment as I get up the ladder here. Okay, so this roof here, we shoveled 2 days before we did the steaming, so the roof had a chance to melt down here. Basically, we started over here on this side, removed all these ice dams over to here, and now what we've done is just cut the ice into sections here, and the ice can now be safely loosened from the roof, and the ice will just come right off the roof once it's been loosened. So on the gun here, we're just going to take a little look here at the end of the gun. There's a pipe, If we turn the gun sideways, the only amount of water coming out of the gun are a few drops at a time. Everything else there you see is steam.